This is the ancient port of Cenchreae. Cenchreae. I just struggle to pronounce that properly, but this is the port where Paul landed, or he arrived here from Athens, um, and here he met Priscilla and Aquila. Priscilla and Aquila, those of you might remember, they were Jews that were expelled from Rome when Claudius, I think it's Claudius, he was persecuting the Christians, so they ran away from there. And here in Corinth was a very large settlement of the Jews. So Priscilla and Aquila came and settled here. And when Paul came, they lived with him, and they were tent makers. So he joined them in that business, and yeah, he continued his work here in Corinth from this place. And the church, I mean, if you read in the book of Acts, I think it's Acts 18, talks about that the church grew quite a lot here in this place. And just about 2 or 3 kilometers from here, on that road over there, there's a place where they used to have all this Olympic games or things like that. And it is said that Paul used to, it is implied that he used to preach to those people. But many of the Corinthians, so initially Paul focused on the Jewish people here in Corinth, because there was a large settlement of the Jews here. But he then realized that this was not going to be very fruitful, so he actually made a decision right here. You read about it in the book of Acts, that he's gonna focus on the Gentiles, and from then on he began to do that, and the Gentiles were very receptive of his message here in Corinth, and therefore the church of Corinth really grew quite dramatically. Yes, and only at the point then he left and went to other areas. He went to Ephesus and some of the other areas. Ephesus is in Turkey, so it's on the other side of the sea. This is the Aegean Sea. So he left and went towards that direction. He did return later on to Corinth, and I think when he went to Ephesus, I think he left with Priscilla and Aquila at that point. Yeah, the one other person who became a deaconess of this place is Phoebe. I think you read about Phoebe. She's mentioned in Romans, if I'm not mistaken. And talk about Phoebe. She became a deaconess of this place. So if you can look at these ruins, actually this is where the what called the chapel was. It's said to have been in this area. And there's also this hole here, which was said to be a place where Paul baptized people secretly. But that is not, I need to just check whether that's something that's mentioned specifically in the Bible. I don't remember reading exactly about that. It might just be something in historical accounts. But so these are the ruins. There are many ruins in this part of the world. Unfortunately, the government is not does not have all the resources to do all the excavations to discover many of the ruins. And I think the one thing that I wasn't aware of is just about this place is very prone to earthquakes. So there have been a lot of earthquakes over the years here. And because of that, the landscape has actually changed quite a lot. Places that did not have water now have water, and places that had water now don't have water. So they're quite and because of that, there are many ruins that are underwater, etc. So it's a very interesting landscape. But as you can see, it's very green, it's very fertile. So it's a very good place, and it's because it's not so far from Athens. People have second homes here. So you can imagine this is like your hermanas. So they're their second home, so you can see over there, and then they come and they chill here over weekends, holidays, etc. Beautiful place, but it's really, as you can look at the texture of the soil, it's not the same as Tebu View or Blowback Strand or Kemps Bay. It's a different kind of soil here, but very, very interesting. Thank you.